Bottom left, I have King 10 of diamonds, which is I get 3-bet by Do Justice, who's been playing pretty aggressively actually with me. If you watch, today's video and yesterday's, no, not yesterday, or whatever, whenever they release part 1. So if you watch this, so King 10 diamonds, playing 3-handed, in general, it's just a good hand to call regardless, whether it's aggressive dynamic or not. But because of the aggressive dynamic that I've been saying over and over and over throughout the last video and this video, this is going to play into a key factor into this hand, I believe. So I call King 10 diamonds. He continuation at the flop, which I think he would do with a lot of his air range. Is just such a good board to continuation bet the flop. I'm gonna call with like suited connectors, or like maybe like even 10 jack. I might even consider folding, or like little pocket pairs. That board just hits 3-bet range so often. So on the flop, I choose to raise it up to $62. The continuation bet $26. It's just slightly more than min raise, so the bet sizing is fine. I think the reason I choose to actually raise it small rather than just kind of shoving outright is that whatever he continuation bets on the flop, I'm going to pick up. He's gonna call down a shove regardless if it's for value. Is the best way to say it. So it doesn't really matter in that aspect when we're shoving. So I choose to raise small to allow me to induce situations where I can make more money, such that if he's got like 2 random diamonds, like 8-7 diamonds, 8-6 diamonds, whatever diamonds, 3-handed, people's 3-bet ranges are going to increase wider. So if he's got 2 random diamonds here, I want to give him the opportunity to shove over as I'm crushing that so bad. Like, it'd be a mistake for me to not let that happen. Me shoving all in, he's not going to, unless he's on tilt, he's not going to call 7 high flush draw or something. So that's why I don't shove the flop. I choose to raise small to allow him to just shove random diamonds. If he's got like Jack 10, King 10, and he chooses to random jam the flop, I'd be crushing that huge. Because when I raise the flop, it looks very, very polarized. I'm probably unlikely I'm raising an ace here, especially with the queen pairing right there. So I think it'd be too thin. He's going to expect me to 4-bet ace queen, ace king a lot pre-flop. So me raising a flop is very, very polarized. So also with the small raise here, he might even be able to make a small 3-bet on the flop and we'd like do 100-ish with just pure air, because I'm going to have so much air here that I'm going to fold, just fold outright. So I don't want to raise like to 80 or like 70, where if you made a small re-raise, it just doesn't really look like, it looks too pot committing, the best way to say. So I choose to make it $62 right here, and hopefully he can 3-bet the flop or maybe get it in. It's important that I get it in against 2 diamonds, 2 bad diamonds, things like that. So I do choose to raise. I'm going to snap call it off and have very good equity regardless of what he has. And he calls, which is very, very weird. I think he would, shove almost any queen on a flop, any ace on a flop, just, the stack size are getting more shallow. I do think he may consider slow playing those hands though, because of how airy my hand does look on the flop, like I said earlier. However, I just think that because I'm in position, he runs the risk of me, checking back a diamond draw like I do have actually. So I think he would just shove the flop more often than not because I can get the free card. Whereas if he was in position, he might be able to get away with slow playing. So on the turn right here, when he calls a flop, I'm going to put his hand range on like I'm going to really reduce value hands. Like if it's an ace, it's probably a weak, very, very weak ace. It's very scared. But even then, I suspect him to just kind of close his eyes and shove the flop. queen I don't expect him to have. So I actually put him on a lot of airballish type hands actually. He's gonna have like Jack 10, King 10, King Jack. He may be too scared to just shove the flop because I'd probably just no. He'd be drawing very very thin. Maybe he can get like a free card or something. So I decide to just check it back here. Maybe hit my draw. I mean, it's very skeptical because like one hand I do think he does have some strong hands because my air range is pretty wide, but I do also think he's got a lot of air in itself, and I am in position. And if he does have a big hand, I can pick up like a jack or like a diamond and probably still stack them and just take the free card right there. And I think that I can choose to bluff him on the river or just even show down my king high if he goes check right here and he checks again. I've got so many different options. So I chose to check the river, try to hit my free card, go from there. And do justice. He time banks a little, and this is where it gets somewhat interesting. He shoves all in, and I'm really thinking about this hand. That's what I say. At first it's like, okay, I got king high, I don't have anything, whatever. But when you really think about it, you gotta really analyze this hand. I know this hand is probably getting a little bit longer in discussion, but it's gonna be interesting. So, like I said, I think he would shove the flop so often with the ace, queen diamond, queen, or like two diamonds. However, I can see him consider just calling the flop with two weak diamonds because if I have an air in my range, then I could just check it back and he can just out of position shove right here when I just my air range. He could just shove the flop with two diamonds as well. I think with air range, I think it's okay as well. What else? If he had like Jack 10 here, King Jack, he might not think his hand's good, or King 10, because maybe I raise the flop and I hit a random pair, maybe a 6 or something. So he's going to choose to turn into a bluff and just shove all in here and hope I fold. Pretty much the best way to say it is I can also see how when I raise the flop, my hand range looks so weak, but he's too scared to throw in a little 3-bet or just kind of shove all in with just no equity, whether it's like 10 high or 9 high or something. So he chooses to do the out of position float very advanced, given how hoping that it goes check on turn and he can just kind of just random shove the river. So I guess I'm just weighting his range that I don't think he's got value hands in his range too often. I just would see him raise an ace or queen so much more often when I raise a flop. So, and I think if he had a random pair like a pair of 6s, he wouldn't shove here. A pair of 9s, a pair of kings, I'd be way too thin value. So I think it removes a lot of hands that beat my king high, whether it's like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s, pocket jacks, pocket kings, whatever, random 6, whether it's 6-5 of diamonds or like things like that. I don't think he would shove here. I think he would just think I have so much air, that 3 doesn't improve me, I'm just going to check, give up, and he's going to just go flip up the winner every time. So I thought his hand range was just so air weighted. I've probably been like kind of going in circles a little bit the past few minutes, kind of saying the same thing over and over. But just thinking through the hand, I didn't think he had it. So I'm not sure why it's not. Huh. Why did stop?